welcome. Glad you're here. When we started, you're not sure who your staff is. You're not sure the reception you'll get in the state or surrounding states, because we like to recruit from like at least D.C. down to through Georgia and Jacksonville, Florida, and then start looking at great players outside of that. So you have areas that you look at, and in your first year, you really just go after players. Some that our coaches were aware of, and some that had already been identified here by Larry and his staff. But I'm really impressed that the passion is greater today for recruiting than it was when we started, than it was after the first signing day, and even today. So I've really been impressed with this staff. It was today was a tremendous day moving forward for UNC football, and we got the 4 guys that we wanted today, that we expected to get, and we've got one more out there that we're waiting on, and it's been a tremendous addition to what we started with the 19 in the first go-around. I also want to thank the high school coaches. We had so much fun rekindling a lot of relationships with those guys, and some of them were students when I was coaching, some of them were young coaches, a lot of their dads were coaching, and getting to meet others. But I can say 100% that the high school coaches were they were great with their hospitality, and helped us as much as they could to catch up on where things are. And high school coaches never send a player to you, but they also encourage a guy to look, and that happened with us, and we were really excited about that. I also learned we have a tremendous and passionate recruiting staff. These guys have worked so hard; they've worked their tails off, and they're way ahead on the 2020 group. You know, people were asking me about 2020s and 21s when I got here, and I said I hadn't even met our team. So give me a break, give me a little time here so we can get to know people a little bit before we start making decisions on what we're doing, because evaluation is the difference in the success that we have. You've got to evaluate the right ones that fit your place. And it's not just the evaluation of people who fits your place. And our place is unique, it's different, and it's very attractive to those that fit here. So we felt like we've done that. We've got a tremendous class, considering that a lot of people with early signing day lose the first class. You just don't get a class, you get a few players. And we've got a class. You'll see on your sheets, it's separated, balanced pretty well by position. So we did not lose our year. In fact, we gained some really good football players, and that'll help us next year as well as going into the future. And we'll watch the 4 new ones here in a minute. 10 of the guys that we signed are from the state of North Carolina. That number will go up significantly when we're here for a year. And what we want to do is recruit the best players in the state of North Carolina. And if we're not getting them, we want them to go to NC State and to Wake Forest and to Duke and East Carolina, because we want them to stay in our state. That's where they were raised. That's where their families can go see them play. That's where their friends can go see them play, their high school coaches. And that'll be what we're pushing in every home in the state of North Carolina. Stay at home. Play for your home state, and that's important. And then we'll look for great players out of state, which we did when we were here before, and that formula really worked for us. So out of state is very important to us, but we're not going to take average players out of state. If they come here from out of state, they're going to be great players. And that works, and they know that, and that they feel special when we come to see them, because they also understand that we're not just out looking for anybody. We're out looking for the best players. So thanks to our staff for their passion and the success in closing that they had in recruiting. Thanks to the high school coaches. I've been having a blast. We've had such a great time for the 2 years that we've been here. No, whatever weeks it is. That seems like 2 years sometimes. But we've been out working hard and having a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and look at these 4 guys. We won't go back through the last 19. First one is Don Chapman. Don's a young man that Jay Bateman had on his radar at Army. I think Jay and Army recruited every player in America, and Jay said, now some of them will actually come. I couldn't get him before he met our team. Said, I know about 75% of you guys, and when I offered you, you were nice, and then right after that, you never spoke to me again. So Don Chapman he can play all 5 positions in the back end. We will start him at corner, but he can play nickel, he can play dime, he can play safety, or either corner. He's got length with his arm and his height. He's got really good hands. He's got quick feet. I think he's really good. He was recruited heavily by Oregon, Washington, Colorado, Washington State, USC. Was in there to the end, trying to get him to come. And he fell in love with the University of North Carolina when he came here to visit. So I'm really, really impressed with this young man as a person and a football player, and he's physical. He can run the field and knock people out. See him coming right here where he runs over the running back from the corner. Physical. He doesn't have to stop. He doesn't gather. He hits him and makes the tackle. And he's very bright. He's also a return guy that is very smooth. He's got smooth speed, but he can stop and start. He's got really good instincts. When you can do this, and it doesn't look hard, boop, boop, he's gone. That's it. Not a lot of people can do that. Most of them run into him, but I also like him a lot as a person. And I didn't think he'd come that far. I said, this is too far for you. You're going to have to go over a lot of good schools to get here. And he did say, he's a confident young man. When he was in my office, he said, might surprise you. And I said, well, I hope you do. And when I got to his house, he said, you didn't believe me, did you? And I said, well, I'm in. I'm good. So that was good. Raivo Hosik is a young man from junior college in Chicago. He's got 3 years left because he was a predictor out of high school. He's a very physical defensive lineman. He had a shoulder operation after the season, so he's down a little bit on his weight now, but just watch the passion that he plays with. He's quick off the ball, but very powerful. Our coaches all liked him. We also have a tremendous advantage with, see the passion chasing the ball. We have a tremendous advantage with guys like Darryl Moody and Sparky Woods that can also evaluate video. This guy plays hard, and he plays hard every play. And he will give us immediate depth in the defensive line. You talk about a try-hard player, that's what we got. And he didn't say anything. I mean, he's real quiet. In fact, I said, Ray, how'd you like it? And he nodded. So he's very, very quiet, but that he plays loud. Once again here, you see he's got quickness. He's a good tackler. But he will give us, you can see the passion that he plays with there at the end after he makes the tackle. But he'll give us some immediate snaps. Ty Murray, big offensive lineman out of Carrollton, Georgia. He can play all 5 spots. He wants to play center, and that's what we recruited him for. You got to have a center to be really good, and he's really physical. I mean, this guy. If you watch him, I love watching him play. If I was that little corner, I think I'd duck. Get out of the way, go around. Watch him here. And that's a big guy. And he finishes. And as an offensive line, you're only as good as your center. And he needs to. You've got to be tough down the middle. And this guy's got toughness. And he loves to play. He's fun to be around. You can see he finishes every block. I know these are highlight films, but just about every play he's doing this. Got good feet. We saw him run and he could pull. Again, I wouldn't have wanted to play against him. If I was the high school coach, I'm not sure I would have showed our guys his film. Yeah, that's what I saw too. And he can get to the second level, but all these are pancakes. And he fell in love with the place again when he came. He's another good student. That's Ty Murray. And then our last one is a very unique and interesting situation with Wisdom Asaboro. He came over from Africa to play basketball. He played basketball, then he started playing football. He's 6'8", he's 270, 280, 275, and has great feet. You'll see it here. He's only played 1 year of football, so there's some fundamental things he's got to learn. He's very, very bright, but we really enjoyed being around him. And you'll see him run in this video. And if you just think about 6'8", 275, 280, and how with that quickness, and he's really a fun young man. I come up to about his waist. You see here a little high, so he's going to have to learn some things. He's got a learning curve that'll take some time, but he will be a defensive player when he gets here to start with. Watch his quickness there. And that's the thing. That's the upside for Wisdom is so good. And we've had tremendous success with the Nigerian and African student athletes. Again, look at his quickness. I mean, it's hard to believe a guy that's 6'8", 280 can run that fast. And he'll end up being 350 or, I mean, he's still thin. And he just, watch him run here. It's amazing. Pick him up right there. Look at this burst of speed here at the end. So that's Wisdom. You see the breakdown there of the positions, so we did a pretty good job of spreading it out. Now our coaches will go through spring practice and start looking at what's next. Where do we need certain players to prioritize who we are, because we don't know yet who we are. We've seen a few off-season programs, but we haven't seen a lot. You also go back to Sam Howell. Since I've talked to you, he played in the All-Star game in San Antonio, the All-American game, and he had 167 yards passing. He threw for a touchdown, ran for a touchdown. And then Sam Richards just got invited to play in the Big 33 game in Philadelphia, and that's a huge honor for those young men in the Upper East. Our players love what they've seen with our off-season program with Brian Hess. It's been a tremendous reaction from them, and he has said that all 6 of the young early enrollees have gotten off to a great start, and that they're good athletes and they're doing well. And then tonight, when we get through here, we've got over 500 Rams Club members that and season ticket holders that will celebrate our signing day up in the Blue Zone tonight. And our 6 early enrollees will come and get to meet the fans and be introduced. Our staff will be introduced, and there's going to be a panel with some of our coaches, and then both Phil Longo and Jay Bateman are going to talk a little bit about philosophy, and then I'll finish up at the end of it. But season ticket sales are going so well, and there's a tremendous amount of progress, enthusiasm, excitement right now, and we've told people you better get on. This train's taking off. So we're having a lot of fun.